Welcome to the 8th episode of the Post-Up Podcast. We're back again. I'm back with Owen, and today we're talking about the Northwest Division. Finally, we're getting into some interesting divisions. The boring ones have gone.
No.
What do we know?
The Sixers one's good.
You're telling me that that anybody cares about the Central Division?
The Atlantic is a good one.
I apologize to the teams in the Central Division. Anyway, we'll start with the Jazz. Utah Jazz last season, first round knockout. Have they improved?
Yeah, they've improved their starting lineup quite a lot over the off season. Going from Ricky Rubio to Mike Conley is a big upgrade, and then adding in Bojan Bogdanovic he's a good player. After all the deeper went down last year, he averaged over 20 points per game. So they have a good starting five, but their bench might be an issue.
Yeah, the five's good. You could say Connolly's an upgrade for Ricky Rubio, but was Connolly the MVP of the World Cup?
That's a good point.
Exactly. They're losing an MVP guard. Maybe not such an important MVP, but an MVP nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like you said, the bench is even their starting five. Like who's going to play power forward? I don't like Ingles at power forward. I feel like just against other power forwards. I was going to say looking at the other power forwards in the Northwest Division, but he's pretty well matched up against Millsap, Gallinari, Covington, and Zach Collins. But against good teams, he's not a great power forward.
It's not his natural position, but I think it's going to be on offense. It could work because they're just going to space out four players and have a lot of 3-point shots.
Yeah, if the ball movement's usually good from a Jazz team, and they've got plenty of options with the ball, so it's good on offense, but defense might be a bit.
Ingles is a pesky defender. He will try all game long. The Thunder know that best in the playoff series a couple of years ago. So he will hold his own, but he might struggle.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad defender. It's just, can he defend at that spot? It's different defending at every spot. Different players you have to come up against. He's going to be defending more players posting up more likely. It's a different style for him defensively. But looking at their bench, it is where are the points going to come from?
Yeah, looking from last year, they've obviously lost Crowder off the bench. Derek Favors, he was mainly a starter, but still a big loss. Kyle Korver, Alec Burks, Raul Neto, Tapo Cephalosha. There's some solid players, and they haven't really replaced them. Ed Davis is a good addition. Jeff Green, he's getting older, as is everyone else really, but he can't really defend. He can shoot a little bit. And Moutier, he's never been a reliable option.
No.
And the bench is just a yikes.
Yeah. Well, the players they got rid of, they're not standout names, but if you see who they've replaced them with, and it's kind of they haven't replaced any of them.
Yeah.
It's just they've got the same players that were there last season who were on the bench and not really doing anything. Exum just doesn't really do much.
You can never stay healthy as well.
Yeah. And O'Neal as well is just, he doesn't do much. They got a bunch of players that don't do much, and they got rid of the players who did do a little bit and replaced them with not a lot of players.
Yeah.
And some players that can do stuff, just not at the level that the other players can. That's very vague. That's a very vague sentence. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be much of the same as it was last season for them. I can't see them really getting past the first round. Just because a deep bench, unless they improve after the All-Star break, if they're having a good run, they get some good free agents in.
But coming to the trade deadline every year, there's always a handful of players who get released or get traded. So they're obviously going to be looking to acquire some talent before the playoffs. I think they're going to have to rely on adding players if they really want a chance at coming out the West. Yeah,
they're really going to have to rely on getting free agents in later around the year, because this team, they obviously want to get better than the first round knockout they suffered last year, and I don't think the team they currently have is going to take them past the first round.
I think they have a chance. It depends who they come up against, obviously. If they come up against the Clippers, then they don't have much chance.
Zero chance.
But if it's, I don't know, the Nuggets, they might have a chance.
Yeah, Nuggets, another team. Obviously, we'll talk about them in a second, but another team, they kind of match up nicely bench-wise. For Jazz's perspective, let's hope that you improve as the season gets on. You bring in some players from the lesser teams, and you maybe get around the first round, get past the first round, but probably not. And as basketball is, it'll be another similar year. What did you predict their
season record?
Yeah, that one.
Well, last year finishing with 50 wins. They've improved the start lineup, but lost their bench, so I'd probably put them around the same, maybe 49, 50, 51 wins.
Yeah, I went vague and said around 50. You can't, save myself there. You can't really be wrong. Moving over to Denver, a lot of wins last year. Not necessarily did much in the playoffs. Struggled against the Spurs in a very good playoff run. That one, I enjoyed those games. Not much has changed. No,
they beat the Spurs.
Yeah, I said they struggled against the Spurs.
But they beat them.
Yeah, they still struggled. Team hasn't changed much from last year. What do you see them doing? What do you think about this team?
They've only added to the team, really, bringing in Jeremy Grant.
Great player.
But yeah, apart from that, it's the same team. So I think we should expect more of the same.
Yeah, great defensive team. Good offense team. Adding Grant in is just adding somebody who'll shoot good corner threes, decent percentage. I know a lot about Jeremy Grant. Sad to see him leave. But yeah, there's no negatives really with this team.
And they got Michael Porter Jr. coming back as well. Hopefully coming back, because you never know. I mean, he might find a new injury and be out for the rest of the season. But hopefully he can stay healthy, because he's a really good player.
Obviously they got Ball in the draft. You don't know. He could be a good player, or he could just not really play much and do nothing.
There's a reason he went in the second round, and there's a reason why he was only given a 2-way contract. I've been saying all along, he's not very good.
Yeah.
And I think NBA teams have seen that. So with a 2-way contract, you can only spend up to 45 days in the NBA. So I think it's just more of a developmental year for him this year in the G League. So yeah, don't expect too much from him.
Yeah, we're talking about the Jazz not having an amazing bench depth. You could say the same about the Nuggets, really. Go on, what?
I like their bench.
What?
It's solid. Monte Morris is one of the best backup point guards in the league. He's so solid.
Is he?
Yeah. Did you see him play last year?
No.
Oh, exactly. There you go. He can shoot and he's a great playmaker. And then Malik Beasley, another good scorer. Jeremy Grant, well, you know about him.
I know about him.
Michael Porter Jr., if he comes back healthy, that's like, he could be a 15-point per game scorer. So I think their bench has potential to be the best in the league if everything goes right.
You not heard of the Clippers?
Have you heard of them? Yeah.
Yeah, I think their bench is slightly better.
I'm saying they have the potential to be the best bench.
A lot of teams have potential.
Exactly. That's a beautiful thing.
I'm just looking at it thinking, like, obviously there's no, like, it works in a system. It was a bit like Toronto last year. Their bench, there was no standout player, but it seemed to all come together in the playoffs.
A bunch of solid players.
Yeah, and it could be the same for the Nuggets then. If your projections are correct.
Yeah, they will be.
They will be, alright. So when the Nuggets crumble this year and their bench is one of the worst in the league, everybody come on.
Yeah, come on.
Last season, the Nuggets had 54 wins, knocked out in the second round. What do you think about this season?
Roughly around the same amount of wins. There's no reason to expect otherwise. I think their goal should be to try and get to the finals. It will be tough with the Clippers, but anything less than a competitive series in the Eastern Conference Finals is going to be a disappointment, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I've said, like, there's no reason why they should get less wins than they did last season. So just around 55 wins. There's not much wrong with this team. Be nice. They're a team that you can't really dislike. Like, there's not much about them. There's like, oh, I don't really like them. They don't have like that one player that's like a bit of a snake, or like other teams do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm not naming any names or anything. At Nets. So like, it'd be like nobody's, unless you don't support their team and you support a team that's a rival. Like, you would quite like to see them get to the finals. It's not.
It would be nice to see.
Yeah. Cool. Shout out to Denver. Jokic is a cool guy. Now on to the one of the best teams in NBA history, really, since they were developed, since they were relocated into Oklahoma. Probably been one of the most successful teams in the history of the NBA. Had probably the best point guard to ever play the sport, and some of the best draft picks you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City Thunder. Not biased, not at all. Not at all biased. But we've spoke about the Thunder a lot, obviously, being the team I follow, and I don't know what to say. Last
Just
season,
let it all out.
yeah,
Let it all out.
last season was a great season. You think, oh, great season, but you lost to Portland in the first round. I'm used to first round knockouts. It's normal. It's not like, oh, we lost in the first round again. It's like, oh, didn't expect anything else. Paul George last season, career high in everything. It was brilliant watching him. His buzzer beater against Philly. He was a pleasure to watch. Russ did what he did for the past 3 years. Triple double again.
Miss shots.
Alright, we're not having no Russell Westbrook slander on this podcast. He's the GOAT. Like, last season was enjoyable to watch for the most part. Obviously disappointed by the first round knockout, but then it all seemed to kind of crumble. But not crumble as bad as it has for other teams when they've lost stars. It's kind of been a pleasant crumble, if you look to the future.
Yeah, well, Kawhi Leonard ruined the hopes and dreams of both of our teams. You know, he knocked us out of the playoffs, and Kawhi is the reason Paul George wanted to leave in the first place, which caused Russ to want to leave. So if there's anyone to blame, it's the quiet man from California.
Yeah, and I didn't like him anyway, so I hate him even more now. But looking at the team we have now, it's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, you're right. It's not as bad, but it's still pretty bad.
Yeah, but like, if you look when Durant left, and it was just Westbrook by himself playing with Carl Singler.
Yeah.
And when he was literally, the first season after triple double, he literally had to do everything by himself because there was no one else he could have passed to, possibly could have done anything. That's what I expected when PG left.
Yeah.
And when there was rumours Russ would have left, I thought, it's going to be that season again. Even if we made the playoffs that season somehow, I don't know.
And you won MVP.
Yeah, he was really good that year. But to get like Shea in, I'm a big fan. We've still kept Ferguson, even though Grant, as this point the Grant left, but Ferguson could be great. Schroeder's still here. We re-signed Nerlens Noel, which on the Thunder Reddit, there was a list from before the season that said things to do in free agency. Re-sign Nerlens Noel, tick. So our free season was complete, perfect for pre-season as long as we were concerned. Diallo's fit again. We don't know much about him. He obviously can dunk, but what more can he do? We'll see this season. He'll get game time. Nobody knows about the intern, Beasley. We know he's decent in business.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they've brought him in to help sell shirts.
Yeah.
Not with his name on the back, obviously. And Magic Mike, the 3-point god. Abdul Nader. I'm just listing the players now, but it's not as bad as it could have been. I'd still kind of like us to trade Chris Paul and Gallinari before the deadline shuts. I don't like the rumours of getting Wiggins in.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the best option.
No, but I don't want Paul and Gallinari on our roster at the start of the season.
But their off-season confused me, because trading PG and Russ, everyone thought, they're rebuilding. But when they traded for CP3 and Gallinari, I know they're keeping them. Are they trying to win?
Yeah, it's like, we're not trying to tank, but we'll accept the tank if it comes.
If you're trying to win, what's the point in trading Jeremy Grant for a draft pick? There's no need for that.
No.
So like, are they like torn between two minds? Like, what are they trying to do? Unless they're just waiting until the trade deadline, waiting for a team to get desperate, and maybe they might get a good package for Chris Paul.
It's a weird situation.
Yeah, I think this upcoming season for the OKC is just a lost season. Just enjoy watching young players grow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy watching Ferguson, Shea, Dennis, Diallo, all these boys. I just want to see Abdul Nader put up 25 points one game. That's the dream. I'm watching every game for Abdul Nader. Abdul Nader's the next Paul George.
Oh god.
That's a joke, by the way. But yeah, it's gonna. Another player that we know nothing about. Andre Robertson. Scared about that on Instagram. He's changed. He doesn't have a profile picture, and he's changed his bio. He's not really repping Thunder at the moment. I don't want us to get rid of him just in case he is as good as he used to be, but apparently he's supposed to be fit for the training camp that's happening pretty soon. But yeah, it's just going to be a a fun season, but not in the way of making the playoffs and having a nice playoff run. Fun as in just seeing what happens.
If you just accept the fact you're not going to be a good team, it'll be fun. You can enjoy it.
So obviously last season, like I said, 49 wins, good season, first round knockout, classic. How do you see the boys doing this year?
Well, if they keep Chris Paul and Gallinari, they should win like between 35 and 40 games.
Yeah.
But then again, if they're doing bad around January, just try and trade them, just go for the tank. Just try to get a high draft pick. So it could go like one or two ways really. Depends on like what sort of mindset the team is in.
Yeah, I went for like around 38 wins. I feel like even if we get rid of Gallinari and Paul, we'll get somebody in that could still carry us to like just outside the playoffs.
Andrew Wiggins.
No,
he's a perfect tank commander if you want to lose.
True, but I just don't want Andrew Wiggins. I've seen what he can do. I'm not impressed.
Or take long mid-range jump shots and miss.
Yeah.
That's what Russ did for the last like 3 years.
But Russ averaged triple doubles. And he danced.
That's true, yeah, fair enough.
Dancing
is important.
We should have brought back Payne. Just for the dancing.
You'd have known to dance with though.
Dance by himself. Russ danced by himself last year.
Sad. So what's your thoughts on KD and his recent comments? Saying that if the Thunder fans would have been a bit nicer, he was going to come back. Does that hurt you a little bit?
KD's an idiot. He's obviously blinded by the fact that what he did was wrong. Well, wrong from our perspective. Obviously from his perspective it was fine. But I assume he's just looking at it as he just left to go to a better team to win rings. But he's not seeing it as we were 3-1 up against Golden State. He was playing brilliantly. He then his performances then dropped dramatically. His field goal percentage went down. Everything went down. And we blew the 3-1 lead. And lost, obviously. And then he left to go to that team which he threw the game against. That's how it looks from our perspective. He might not throw the game. He might have had some bad performances. But it's a bit of a coincidence, isn't it?
I think it's a bit naive from Durant to like... If he didn't expect there to be backlash from the Thunder fans, then that's so naive. If he had gone to the Celtics, I don't think there would have been much backlash because they weren't that good.
Because it'd been the same.
And they weren't rivals. It'd be like when LeBron went to Miami.
Yeah.
They weren't a good team, but then when LeBron joined them, they were good. So I feel like it would have been that sort of situation. But the fact he went to the team that literally just broke the all-time record for wins in the season, it's not... You should have expected the amount of hate.
He's talking a load of rubbish. But like the Thunder Reddit is very vocal from this, and we've decided that we're gonna support Paul George like he's still there, just to show Durant that what would have been if he didn't snake us. 'Cause Paul George, like, I can't be angry at Paul George or Westbrook. Paul George put up the best performance of his career for us last season. Yeah, we didn't get far in the playoffs, but we never do. I mean, it's not a shock that we lost the first round. And it's not necessarily Paul George's fault that we lost the first round. He played well.
But he demanded a trade. That's arguably worse than Durant because his contract was up. He was free to go anyway. But Paul George was still contracted for another... He only signed the contract last year. And he had, 4 years left?
Yeah.
And he wanted out. So you could argue that's a bit worse.
But you look at it from Paul George's perspective and look at our team. Look at how that we've lost in the first round for the past 4 years. The management and everything is taking the team kind of backwards. We're not changing when we need to. It just seems to be a bit of a mess. I would jump ship as well if I was this elite player, which Paul George is.
Isn't that why Durant left though? He wasn't happy with the moves.
We still like we didn't crumble when KD left. It was still kind of there. Yeah. Paul George left and he didn't like he did his best. It's not like in the playoffs he just didn't turn up against Trailblazers. He did. He tried his best. The system didn't work. The rotations didn't work. Billy Donovan got it wrong, as he often does. So I can't really hate Paul George. I still like Paul George. I can't hate him for leaving. Yeah, he demanded a trade, but I can't blame him. I would demand a trade if I was an elite guy trying to do the best for his career. It wasn't necessarily the best for KD's career when he could have we were 3-1 up. We could have beaten Golden State. We were easily above them. It was great. We could have won the playoffs that year, but he threw the game, and then left to the team he threw the game against.
Yeah.
So it's deeper.
Yeah.
It's deeper
Yeah,
than
fair enough.
demanding a trade. So PG and Russ, still much love. KD's a snake. Moving over to the Timberwolves, and they don't have many rookies to bully this year, do they?
Well, there's no one there to bully him.
Oh, sorry. They don't have many rookies to ruin this year because they just ruin players.
Well, that remains to be seen. We don't know what they're capable of. I mean, Culver was I was so shocked when they traded up. Trading Dario Saric, who they only had for a couple months. Traded him to get Culver. I loved the move because after Butler went, they never replaced him. They never really got a shooting guard who could score. But now, leading up to the draft, I was saying too, like, Jimmy Butler is like, well, Culver is Jimmy Butler 2.0. Like, they are so similar to each other. Culver's not as good of a defender, but the way they play offensively is so similar. So I think they're really hoping Culver can really fill the boots of the Butler.
Does he wear bandanas?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
but
yet.
Soon.
Hopefully.
Soon Culver will be wearing
Yeah.
bandanas. They're just a weird team, aren't they? Like,
Well, they did lose Derrick Rose, who put up quite a lot of points from last year, including a 50-point performance.
Halloween.
Averaged 18 points per game, and they've lost him now. And they replaced him with Shabazz Napier, who couldn't really crack the Brooklyn Nets rotation. So
Yeah.
that's a big, big loss.
Yeah, the team's got worse.
Yeah, I guess you
It's-
could argue
yeah,
that.
I mean, they've lost the power forward. They've got Noah Vonleh, but I mean, it just like the depth is a bit worse. It doesn't look great.
Yeah, like Taj Gibson was like, he's not a great player, but he played a big role for the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
He's just a solid player to put next to Karl Towns, and they've lost him. They got a decent replacement with Vonleh, but yeah, they just haven't improved. They haven't taken the next step yet.
No, and I really feel bad for Towns because I like Towns. He's a
I
good
hope they
player.
don't waste him. I remember, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. There was like people like were legitimately saying the Timberwolves had a better young core than the Sixers, and I was thinking last night, it's mad how different both teams have gone.
Yeah.
But the Sixers just trusted their process and it's worked out. Where the Timberwolves tried to be too good too soon.
Yeah.
By bringing in Jimmy Butler and Jeff Teague, and it just didn't work out. And now they're just stuck in limbo, really. No money, and well, no really sign of a good future.
Yeah, Towns got the potential to be one of the best centers in the league,
Yeah, definitely.
but not at this team.
It's like, do you know Kevin Garnett?
Yeah.
He was with the Timberwolves for years, and they just never won. Went to the Celtics and won a ring in his
Yeah.
first year.
I
So I
think
think it
Towns
could be a
might have,
situation
yeah,
like
he
this.
might have a similar.
Or
But-
it could end up like Anthony Davis with the Pelicans,
Yeah.
where he
Waiting for LeBron. Waiting for Bronny to come and take him away. But, like, the Timberwolves, like, Towns at the Timberwolves is a very similar boat that Devin Booker is at the Suns.
yeah,
It's just like,
they have a better team,
yeah,
but
but
still not good.
it's just, they seem to get decent picks. They don't bring anybody in that, like, that could help, really. It's just, they need to get out.
Well, a rebuild.
No,
the player needs to leave.
Towns needs
Yeah.
to get out
Well-
to perform the best he can.
It's a tough situation with Towns because as soon as his contract's up, he's a restricted free agent, so the Timberwolves can just match any offer, which they are going to do.
Yeah.
So it might be another 5 years until he can leave,
Poor
which
Towns.
is basically what Anthony Davis did.
Yeah. Poor Towns. It's going to take someone to trade their whole their whole roster for him.
I mean, the Thunder, realistically, they could take on Wiggins' contract and bring on Towns and just give away the bunch of picks that they gained in the offseason.
No.
You wouldn't want to do that for Towns.
Mm.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player. I like him, but I quite like these picks.
Fair enough.
I want Bronny. I'm hoping that one of these picks brings me Bronny. Just because I quite like the fact that Bronny not on the same team as his dad for. So I feel like LeBron would trade his son for a good player.
Well, he basically did because he traded
Yeah,
their
I mean,
pick to
yeah,
get
yeah.
him.
There's a shed of light for Timberwolves. Wiggins might not be good, but Wigginton might be.
To be fair, he was good in college last year. I thought he was going to get drafted. He went undrafted. So, I mean, the odds of him making a roster are quite slim. But he might be able to get a 2-way contract somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. I was making a joke about his name.
I know.
If you wanna shed some light about who he is, feel free.
Nah, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah, Wigginton, the future of the Timberwolves. Josh Kogi's a bit of a wild card.
Yeah.
Obviously played in the World Cup.
He can be a really good player. Good defender. Developing jump shot. Give him a couple of years and he could be a good starter.
Last season, obviously, won a great season for the Timberwolves. 36 wins, finished 11th. I mean, I don't know about you, but pretty much the same for this season,
Yeah,
I think.
same for me. They haven't improved the team, so there's no reason to expect an improvement, really.
No, they've not really improved, and they haven't really...
And can you really trust Wiggins to take that next step?
Nope.
Exactly. So there's no reason to project them to improve in any way.
Towns can average 20 and 10, and everybody else just struggles around him. Poor Timberwolves fans. Moving over to the Trailblazers. How did they do last season? I don't remember how they did.
You don't remember?
No.
They got swept in the Western Conference Finals.
Ah,
Yeah, swept.
it's a pity.
Didn't put up a fight.
Ah, it's like they shouldn't have even tried in the playoffs. Like, what was the point getting past the first round if you shouldn't get swept in the finals? Not better. Thanks, Dame. You ruined everything. You ruined everything, Dame.
That wave.
You
when
ruined
he hit that
everything.
game winner was so cold.
No, I like him. I like Dame. Brought out a decent rap album as well.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Good diss track.
Oh, yeah, that was fun as well.
Yeah. Fun times.
I prefer Bagley as a rapper. He was more aggressive. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So obviously last season, did brilliantly in the playoffs until they decided not to try at the end. Had a great season. And, well, a lot has changed.
They've just dismantled the team.
Yeah.
They've kept Lillard and McCollum, but apart from that...
Given them big contracts as well.
Yeah, which is stupid in its own way.
I mean, it is, but they are two very good players who they obviously want to build around, so you want to tie them down.
They're two good players, but they've given them MVP caliber money, which
I mean,
they don't deserve.
Lillard kind of showed his worth in the playoffs.
Yeah, I suppose. But
This
McCollum,
season is if he could do it for the whole season and prove that he is an elite top 5 point guard.
they got it back, so are they going to be motivated? Are they just going to be complacent, saying, "Oh, well, I've got my money now"? So
You'd like to think that these players are not just doing it for the money and they do want to win,
hopefully,
because they
hope
do
so.
have a. I mean, they don't really have a team to go and win
but definitely not.
the playoffs, but they have a team that could make some noise in the playoffs, like they did last season and get swept by Costa.
I can't see them making the playoffs though. Like they've lost so much. They've lost Harkless, who's one of the best defenders. They've lost Amina, who's one of the best defenders.
Who's Alpha Rakamina?
They've lost Seth Curry, who's their best shooter.
Yeah, Seth Curry did really well for them in the playoffs as well.
Nurkic might be off for the rest of the season, which means Whiteside is starting this at the centre spot. Damn, that's bad. They've lost Jake Layman, who's a solid bench player. They lost Evan Turner, who's a good backup. And
Yeah.
what did they replace him with? Mario Hezonja and Anthony Tolliver.
But
Can't be his
Hazoni did step over LeBron last season.
And what else did he do?
Who cares? He blocked LeBron and stepped over him. I mean, what else do you need? But yeah, if you look at... It's the same with... Was it the Jazz?
Yeah.
They got rid of all the players. And
They're
didn't
just a
replace them.
scuffed version of the Jazz.
Yeah, it's the same as the Jazz. They got rid of a bunch of players and didn't really replace them with much.
Like, at least the Jazz have a good start lineup with
Yeah.
the Trailblazers. Like, you're looking at that. I mean, you're going to get points from Lillard and McCollum, but apart from that, there's no defense.
Yeah, and the big men is a bit of a concern. You could see, like, I'm just looking at the other teams in this division, like Towns against Whiteside. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Adams against Whiteside. Yeah. Jokic against Whiteside. Gobert against Whiteside. Yeah, it's
they're
not.
going to struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, if Nurkic was fit for the whole season, which is not going to happen, they would make the playoffs. But he's such a big loss. Like, you know, he's like Marcus All, where he doesn't look. His stats doesn't tell he's a good player, but
Yeah.
when you watch him play, he has such a big impact on the game.
But they do have the other Gasol brother.
Yeah, he was 39 years old. Sure, he's
Mm.
retired, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. But he might.
But he went to Milwaukee at the end of last season and did nothing because he was injured the whole time.
Pau Gasol could tutor Lavissiere to be a great centre. Maybe that's what they brought him in for. Maybe they see the potential of that skill Lavissiere has, and they want Pau Gasol to train him.
Maybe not.
But very unlikely.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were saying they might not make the playoffs. I think they're going to make the playoffs purely because Lillard and McCollum are very good.
Imagine if one of them gets injured.
It's
They've
over.
got nothing.
It's over. We're just hoping they don't get.
That's
I hope they do get injured.
That's a dangerous way to play, though. Like, you just bank on them being healthy.
Yeah. Because obviously they brought in Bazemore, not necessarily going to bring... And, like, say if McCollum does get injured, Bazemore's not going to come up and average 22 points a game that McCollum will bring in for you.
I think there was a little bit of hope at the end of last season, though, when Anthony Simons, I think he scored 37 points in the last game of the regular season. So, he's not going to do that often, but you're hoping he can really take that next step and be a good backup point guard, which this team really, really needs. Just needs some more scoring.
Yeah, it's another team in this division which don't have much in the way of points off the bench.
Yeah, looking at all of the benches in the whole division.
OKC have the best bench. It's crazy.
Denver.
Dennis Schroeder averaged 18 points in the World Cup, and they lost like every game. Germany were bad. Yeah. We're not going to talk about the World Cup. We don't care that much. So obviously the records last season. The Trailblazers won 53 games and did nothing in the playoffs. They were pathetic, really. Shouldn't have even turned up. What do you see them doing this year?
I think they should aim towards being 500, maybe 41 and 41. That might be enough to make the playoffs.
Get 500 wins. It's not that many games.
41 wins might be enough to get them in the playoffs, but it might not. I don't know. If they don't make the playoffs, it wouldn't be a shock to me.
Yeah, I got them with 45 wins. I think they'll make the playoffs. I think, I think you're underrating the ability of Lillard and McCollum, but okay. I might be wrong. Yeah. It's very more likely that you're right there than me being right, but we'll see in about 6 months. Yeah. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Post Up Podcast. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be talking about the Southwest Division. The Rockets, the standout team there. See what we think about Westbrook and Harden, the dream team back together. Thanks for listening. We now put the videos on YouTube, so go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Post Up, and obviously on SoundCloud again, the Post Up Podcast on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. Our Twitters are in the description. Thanks for listening, and cheerio.